Hi, guys, good evening, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and in tonight's video, I'll be discussing the recent announcement that was made from one of the Russo brothers stating that there will be at least 67 Marvel characters who will be appearing in Avengers Infinity War Parts 1 and 2. Whew. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So that is the latest we have on that movie. He also went in to state that people will not be disappointed by the sheer amount of characters and superheroes they will have in these two movies, and they begin filming at the end of this year. I believe he said it was November 2016. They'll start down in Atlanta, Georgia, and then they'll go over across the seas and they'll be filming internationally from location to location, I believe. Nobody knows the exact storyline yet, but of course it sounds like they're going to be filming in a lot of very cool places. And November 2016 is when production is to begin for both films, as they will both be shot back to back. Part 1 to be released May 4th, 2008, and Part 2 to be released May 4th or May 9th, May 8th or 9th, 2019. I just saw the date too and now I can't remember it. Bottom line is both of them will be May releases and a year apart from each other. So that's exciting. You know, he said they're going to feature at least 67 characters. Now, he didn't specify as to whether or not all of these characters will be superheroes or just Marvel characters who have been seen throughout the MCU being brought into play here, all coming together, because he went on to explain, like, this is basically the biggest combination of the MCU we are ever going to see, even bigger than Avengers Age of Ultron, which brought together all of our original characters and some new characters, and it tied in a lot of things from several other Marvel movies. This movie, or movies, I should say, Infinity Wars, is going to be so big. I mean, it's rumored to be shot entirely on IMAX, and the budget was rumored to be in around $1 billion, $2 billion, which seems incredibly unrealistic, unbelievable. But then again, with the success of The Force Awakens and just how much money it's made, and that movie had a $200 million budget, I'm sure Disney and Marvel will say, well, okay, this movie's going to make us super rich. Let's just put as much as we can into it to make it as big as possible. They can afford it. They're Disney. They're Marvel. They'll be okay financially. But anyway, I think that sounds like a fair number. 67 seems fair. I mean, hopefully he's referring to superheroes specifically, but we may get characters like Sharon Carter, Maria Hill, Nick Fury, Pepper Potts, Jane Foster, all of those actors, those characters could be returning. Basically, non-superhero characters could be included in that 67 count. However, as soon as that report was released saying that's how many characters would appear in both films, plus it didn't specify if it would be for Part 1 or for Parts 1 and 2. In fact, it's still a little unclear to me, but I think what they're talking about in total for both films, that's how many characters will in total appear. And if you think about it, we'll have the original Avengers roster, and then we'll have the newer additions with the exception of, spoiler alert, Quicksilver. By the way, if you're not caught up on the MCU, I mean, A, why not? You should. They're awesome movies. B, be warned, I will be discussing big spoilers, or potential spoilers regarding past and present future Marvel movies in regards to Infinity Wars. Like, depending on how many characters and who survives Captain America's Civil War, we will find out in May when that movie hits theaters. We will find out if indeed Captain America himself or characters like War Machine or Scarlet Witch will survive that movie. From the trailer, it looks like War Machine was fatally wounded, although I doubt they would give away something that big like that. Captain America could die, as I've stated in previous videos with regards to the Infinity Wars films. He could die, but still technically make an appearance as a hallucination or a flashback in parts 1 and 2, or maybe just part 1 or just part 2, because I know Chris Evans' Marvel contract was for 3 Captain America movies and 3 Avengers films, and Avengers 3 is technically split into 2 parts. He could appear in both 1 and 2 or just one of them. And he doesn't necessarily have to be alive for it. He could reappear in flashback or hallucination form, or perhaps appear in a nightmare or something. Who knows? But that remains to be seen. We won't know his fate until we see Civil War, which will be out in a few months. So yay! We have so many other characters. I mean, at the end of Ant-Man, they teased the Wasp would be coming to the big screen alongside Ant-Man, who's still fairly new to the MCU. We're going to have Ant-Man, Wasp, and you have got to seriously consider the fact that the Guardians of the Galaxy will most likely definitely appear in these movies. I mean, nobody's confirming or announcing anything yet because we're still about 2 years or less. We're about 2 years, if not a little bit more, if a couple years away from Infinity Wars. Maybe they'll confirm something towards the end of this year or the beginning of next year, 2017. But I think it's safe to say that considering how many characters they say are going to appear in these movies, Guardians of the Galaxy, they've got to make an appearance. Or be a big part of it. I mean, they were clearly connected to Thanos during their movie, and the Infinity Stones were brought up and explored in great detail in Avengers Age of Ultron. I mean, they have got to make an appearance. And the people who are probably involved in these 2 movies, parts 1 and 2 of Infinity Wars, all of them have probably had to sign confidentiality forms, full disclosure agreements saying you're going to be tight-lipped until the big announcement comes from the Marvel bosses themselves saying, okay, let's make a big announcement to the world. Yes, the Guardians of the Galaxy will be teaming up with the Avengers and other Marvel characters. So I think it's just a matter of time before we get any confirmation. However, there is a slim chance that they may not appear at all, although in my personal opinion, that seems quite unlikely. So I do believe the Guardians of the Galaxy will be reappearing for Avengers Infinity War parts 1 and 2, or maybe just one part. So it's exciting, guys. It's very, very exciting. So thank you for tuning in and sharing my excitement for these upcoming movies. There's a lot to look forward to in the next couple of years in regards to Marvel and all the other studios. Stay tuned and stay subscribed to this channel for more constant updates and more new news stories regarding these 2 movies. Like I said, that is the most current information we have at the moment regarding Infinity Wars. And stay subscribed for more details and more content. Thank you, guys. I hope you have a great rest of the night. Thanks for watching. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.